Hey, I'm Jim Weber in the Fox 13 Weather Center. Thanks for logging on to myfoxhurricane.com. Still watching a very dangerous hurricane. Even though the winds have now diminished to 110 miles an hour, this is still a dangerous storm, and it's still going to continue to cause more problems along the Florida coastline and even up into the Carolinas as we go through the next several days. Now, beginning part of the loop, you're seeing that well-defined eye as it was slowly just drifting towards the west yesterday and then just kind of holding stationary just to the north of Grand Bahama. The latter part of the loop, you're starting to notice more of that movement towards the north and the northwest with the center. You also notice how that eye just kind of filling in. We're starting to see more upwelling where we're using up that energy in the ocean, basically just kind of cooling down these waters. We're also starting to see maybe a little dry air working its way in, and some wind shear starting to take hold on this system as well. So all these things, they're kind of weakening this storm, and it will continue to weaken a little bit more over the next several days. So here's the latest position: 27.1, 78.6. Top winds have diminished down to 110 miles an hour. So that makes this a Category 2 hurricane. Notice the movement is to the northwest now at 2 miles an hour. We'll start to pick up more forward speed as we go through later today into tonight. Notice it stays off the Florida East Coast, so well offshore, but still we're talking about that storm surge coming onshore, and that's still going to cause some issues all along the Florida coastline and then up into the Carolinas as well. Notice it gets a bit closer to the Carolinas. Could make landfall, or it very possibly may not make landfall at all in the United States, but it's still going to cause storm surge issues, and then some of these rain bands as they work their way on shore could be some pretty significant rain as well, along with some gusty winds. Certainly seeing these winds gusting up to tropical storm force along some of the coastal areas. Still have the hurricane watches and warnings out throughout our interior counties. Polk County, down in the Highlands County, still talking about a tropical storm watch at this point. At this point, I think inside some of these bands that work their way through, we may occasionally see some winds gusting close to tropical storm force, but certainly along the East Coast, that will be an issue. In fact, where you see this yellow shade, that is the extent of the tropical storm force winds. So you can see they work their way along the East Coast, up towards Daytona, and eventually up into Jacksonville as we get into Wednesday and Thursday. This is working its way up into the Carolinas. Some other areas we're talking about, this is now Tropical Depression number 7 in the western Gulf of Mexico. This is the 11 a.m. advisory, 23.6, 94.9. Winds right now are 35 miles an hour. It is moving to the west at 7 miles an hour. This could become our next named storm, but this will work its way pretty quickly into Mexico as we head into Thursday. Elsewhere across the tropical Atlantic, remember, we're heading towards the peak of the hurricane season, which is September 10th. So we have Dorian, we have Sept, we have another area out into the Atlantic, further out towards Africa, watching a couple areas as well. Models are indicating that we're going to start to see some more tropical waves working their way off the coast of Africa that may bear some watching as we go through the next week or so. So we'll keep you updated right here on myfoxhurricane.com.